He said, pray as you see me pray. Utter these words that you hear me say. Based on the Sunnah worship him, just follow them.
Assalamu alaikum. New class coming to you every Monday and Wednesday, taught by Ustad Layla Nashiba, the fifth of prayer. Every Monday and Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Inshallah, we'll see you there. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers.
You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah by your side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. You will make it through. The fitra is awake in you. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through. With Quran and Sunnah on his side, here's a place where it will thrive. You will make it through.
Okay, in alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Inshallah, everybody can see me, and inshallah, you can hear me on YouTube. If you can't hear me on YouTube,
yes, we can see you and hear you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Long as you guys can see and hear on YouTube, we're good to go. Because if you can see me on YouTube, that means you can see me live on Rumble. You can see me also on Facebook. You can see me on LinkedIn. And you can also see me on X. We're streaming simultaneously on all the the major social media platforms. Why? Because we have to get the true Islam out there. You know, we're living in the days of fitan, the days in which the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam warned against, the days in which Islam will become strange. What did he mean by that? That means it won't be the real Islam. Instead of Muslims practicing what he came with, instead of us resembling those original companions, in fact, you won't be able to really tell us much from the unbelievers. We'll be more like the non-believers. Okay? We will have fallen, succumbed to the life of this world, which we see so many of us have done. You know, we're into money. It's all about fame. What did David Bowie say? Is it any wonder? That song, Fame. Oh, yeah. 70s. It applies today. Fame. Look how many Muslim men and women have sold their souls for fame. They've compromised their Islamic values. They've compromised the Islamic morality for fame. To be on the president's task force of equal rights. Even though the non-Muslims task force of equal rights includes the right for same-sex marriage, the right for women and men to blur the lines of gender. But is it any wonder, just as Bowie says, shame. So, you know, that's why I'm broadcasting and I'm streaming live. I'm streaming live on all social platforms because even though I'm a female daya, you know, females, we know we get overlooked. You know, that's just life. But still, I'm trying to appeal to as many women out there as I can. I'm trying to call you sisters back. Call you sisters back. Call you sisters back to Islam in its truthfulness, with the understanding that those original companions had. That's the traditional Islam, not progressive Islam. These are the female daya. 99% of the female daya that you're listening to are calling you to something other than that, because it's all about gender roles being blurred. It's all about equal rights, equal opportunities, freedom to choose what you want to choose over what Allah said to choose. So I'm streaming. And even though my dawah is geared towards women, I have more male followers. The statistics went up. I have 75% now. Oh yeah, Fresno, 75% more men listening to me. 75%. Why is that? It's not hard to understand why. Women are jealous. We women suffer with all kind of emotional disabilities. What can I say? We don't want to listen to another woman, tell us what that we're doing things wrong. We don't want to have another woman tell us, anything, because who is she? I'm better than her. Who is she? Who she thinks she is? So that's just why it's going to be more women in hell too. Why is it that I have more male followers? I've been asking a lot of brothers that's the journalism in me. I've been asking a lot of the new subscribers, what brought you to my website? All the daya that's on the internet, why are you brothers, what is it about my dawah that's different? I know what's different, but I want to see, what it is they see. So they've been telling me, well, number one, you're speaking about the things we need to hear. It's not about all that Arabic. I'm like, what do you mean by that? All these other brothers, these other famous brothers, they put all this emphasis on speaking Arabic, man. And then when they give their lectures, they use all these Arabic words that go over. We don't know what they mean. Or, they don't answer our questions truthfully. I say, what do you mean truthfully? They don't break it down. You ask them a question about Islam, instead of just them telling you yes or no, because the lawful and the unlawful is clear. Either it's lawful or it ain't. Instead of them saying yes or no, they'll tell you what the four imams had to say, and then they'll throw in Ibn Taymiyyah, they'll throw in Ibn Qayyim, then they'll throw in Sheikh Albani, then they'll throw in Sheikh Uthaymeen. And we just want to know the answer. What did the prophet say? What did the companions say? They never tell us what the companions said. It's always the four imams, Ibn Taymiyyah and them, or some scholars of today. They say, whereas you go into detail. They say you break it down. They say you use plain, simple English. You don't care. You don't sugarcoat your words. You keep it real. And then you will always give examples from the companions. You will always give what the prophet said, what Aisha said, and then you will give examples of history with them. They said, so we walk away understanding better. Plus, you always give the source, too, of your dalil. So, alhamdulillah, that's how we're all supposed to be. But again, this is 2024. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Islam will become strange. My sunnah will become forgotten. My sunnah will become abandoned. Instead, the people will walk around speaking, quoting the Quran beautifully, reciting it beautifully, but not understanding the meaning of any of the words because they don't know my sunnah. They don't know the hadiths. The hadiths are the explanation of the Quran. And remember that hadith. What's the source? Sahih Muslim, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting with his companions outside the mosque in the courtyard. And he got real quiet. And he stared off. He just stared. And the people knew, because he started sweating too. The companions became quiet because they knew that he was having a revelation, that Allah had the angel Jibril talking to him. And so then after he was quiet for a while, his eyes became light again, and he looked around, and then he looked at the companions that were sitting around him, and he pointed his finger. He said, "You will become replaced." He said, you will become replaced. He said it 3 times. And he started moving around. You will become replaced. The people said, the companions said, what do you mean, O Prophet of Allah? Replaced by what? And then Salman al-Farsi happened to come in. Assalamu alaikum, what's up? And the Prophet looked at him and said, you will become replaced by his people. And he pointed to Salman al-Farsi, who was Persian. He said, either they will replace you, or you will follow them. The companions are like, what is he talking about? They didn't understand that hadith. But they passed it on to the next generation. And they passed it on to the next generation. So when the 4 Imams arose, when, may Allah bless them all, when Imam Bukhari arose, may Allah bless him, Imam Muslim, Tirmidhi, and all of them who were the early scholars after the companions died off, okay? The 4 Imams, Imam Bukhari and all of them appeared, and the Tabi'in said, oh, the originals didn't understand this hadith. The originals didn't live to see this. This is what the Prophet meant. Either you will be replaced by his people. What did that part of the hadith mean? That means when you die off, when you, my original companions, those of you who are with me now, when you die off, your knowledge of the true Islam will die off with you. But there will emerge another group of believers who will replace you in trying to call the people back. Call the people back to what you are upon. And that's the traditional Islam. And that's what the 4 Imams did. May Allah bless them. They sacrificed their lives trying to keep the sunnah of those original companions going. And Imam Bukhari, may Allah forgive him of all his sins, he died alone a horrible death. When he was one of the best scholars of this planet, he was the one that preserved and hunted down all the narrations of the hadith to preserve it, protect it, to keep what those companions had to say true. So that's what that part of the hadith meant. Either they will follow you, or they will replace you. The other part of that hadith, now centuries, decades, centuries have traveled on. The 4 Imams are gone. They were Persian. They weren't Arabs. Ibn Taymiyyah, he wasn't Arab. He was Persian. Ibn Qayyim, he was Persian. Ibn Kathir, these were not Arabic men. They were the people of Salman al-Farsi. They tried to keep the religion authentic, preserved. But time has passed. Fast forward to 2024. They will replace you. Now those of us living today, we understand, like the Tabi'in understood, the second. They understood the first part. They will follow you, or they will replace you. They will replace you as our day and age. Instead of the people, the Muslims learning about the companions, instead of the Muslims learning the hadith, all the Muslims focus on is this Arabic language, which ain't nothing but a language. And they base their Islamic teachings on the four imams. I was listening to a lecture the other day from another famous personality. This brother's in another country. I think he's in Australia. And I was amazed by what he was saying. Subhanallah. He was telling the people, we need to go out and read the 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi and Riyadh al-Salihin. That's all they talk about. All they talk about. What do these brothers learn? These brothers that are famous daya, they don't know nothing about Sahih Bukhari, Muslim. They don't know the Sitta. The only hadiths that they reference and that they learn in their so-called schools, I repeat, their so-called Islamic schools, all they learn is Riyadh al-Salihin and the 40 hadiths of Imam Nawawi. And these books are not sources. And by the way, some of the hadiths in those books are not authentic. Did y'all know that? Hello? Some of those hadiths are not authentic. Hello? That's what that part of the hadith meant. Or they will replace you. These brothers today have replaced the companions. They've replaced what Aisha, radiallahu anha, they replaced her. They've replaced Ibn Abbas. They've replaced Abu Bakr. They've replaced Abu Huraira. They've replaced Ibn Umar with the four imams, with Ibn Taymiyyah, Imam Nawawi, and all these men were Persians. Salman al-Farsi's people. Now do y'all understand that hadith? Islam is the truth. Allah has told us. He's told us what would happen to us. Just like he said he would bring this war in Gaza. He'd bring this war against Islam. This ain't a war against Gaza, by the way. This is a war against Islam. And it's been going on. It's going to continue until the entire earth is experiencing it. Okay? We got to learn our deen. We have to learn our deen the correct way. We have to get back to the traditional Islam, which is what those companions were upon, and not all this watered down garbage. Because that's what it is. Anything that's watered down becomes garbage. It loses its authenticity. It loses its true effect. We have to get back to the traditional Islam. We have to be careful who we learn from. Like I tell all my students, you listening to these famous speakers, and all they telling you is what Imam this said, what Sheikh so-and-so said, and what the four Imams said. These people, turn off the channel. Turn off the channel. You better find somebody that's going to tell you what those companions had to say. Because when they speak, don't nobody else got nothing to say. When they speak, everybody else shut up and sit down and take notes. All right. So that's my little lecture for today. Don't get it twisted. and that's what this class is all about. This is our Aqidah class. We have to check to make sure that our belief system as Muslims is the way it should be. Every day of our lives, when we wake up, the first thing we should do is thank Allah for putting our souls back in our body. Thank Allah for giving us another chance to earn His love, to earn His approval, to earn His acceptance. And then we need to ask ourselves, what sacrifice can I make for Allah today? That's what I do every day when I wake up. I said, what sacrifices? Well, I'm going to make a sacrifice. Today when I woke up, I said, what sacrifices am I making for you, my Lord? I said, well, I'll make sure I do both my classes today. And I got to get busy with the videos because we got book 1. We're almost done with this book. We're going back to Get to Know Your Lord. I said the sacrifice I'm going to make today is I'm going to stay up all night making a video. I said, Geechee, who's my songstress, you know, she will send me a video, inshallah, and a song, a theme song, and I can put the Get to Know Your Lord video together. That's my sacrifice. I'm going to give up the Vampire Diaries. Oh, yeah. I like the Vampire Diaries. Sorry. I like the originals too. Sorry. I'm a dark person. I'm into vampires, werewolves. I'm into that gothic stuff that don't exist because the real world is filled with too much drama. I have anxiety, so I have to escape with fantasy. So the sacrifice I said I'll make is tonight, instead of watching Vampire Diaries or watching the originals or watching Legacies or America's Next Top Model, I have to admit I will throw in that to keep myself looking nice. I said instead of watching my shows tonight, my sacrifice will be staying up, putting out making that new video for the class that I'll be teaching when this one is done. How many of you asked that question? How many of you thank Allah for giving you another chance and then say, what can I do for you today, Allah? What sacrifices can I make for you today? We all should do that. That's what the companions did. They sacrificed for Allah. Every day, they sacrificed their lives, their children, their money. Okay. So we're going to be faced with choices. We're going to be faced with decisions in our lives, whether we want to or not. And we're going to have to fall back upon our aqidah, our belief system. Allah is going to test us. The more knowledge that you learn about Him, the more severe your tests will be. The harder your trials will be. Don't get it twisted. I don't want you guys to be like the Christians, thinking that the more knowledgeable you become of your religion and the better you become at practicing it, God's going to make everything easy for you. That's not true. The more you learn, the stronger and harder your tests will be. Because this is Allah's way of purifying you too, by giving you trials. That's His way of purifying you of all the bad choices you made in the past. To the point that when Allah takes your soul, you'll be forgiven of those bad choices you made in the past. So your trials are going to get harder. But again, Allah's mercy supersedes anything. He promised. He said, He promised, I will make your trials harder and harder and harder. But I promise, I'll never put you to a test that you can't bear. He said, I'll never impose a hardship that you can't handle. You can handle whatever I bring your way. I'm going to test you individually. Just like when you die, I'm going to raise you up and judge you individually. So your tests are not going to be the same as her tests or his tests. I'm going to test you according to where you are and your faith and your practice, and you can pass it. You just going to have to dig down, dig in your heart and pull out the knowledge to pass it. The knowledge will be there. You just have to pull it out. Believe in me first and foremost, and then believe in yourself. Everybody understand that? So you can handle whatever. Just like those people in Gaza, they can handle it. This is nothing for them. They ain't walking around crying and acting stupid like the rest of you. This is part of their everyday life. That's where they are. in their faith. They can handle this. War is part of their culture. Let's just say it that way. Okay? Because that's where they are in their iman. Just like we can handle what we're tested with. We can handle. I had one of the brothers called me today and said, Sister Layla, he said, I'm new to America. He said, and I'm going back home. I said, good. He said, I can't. How do the people live here? I said, what are you talking about? He's down there in Miami, Florida. I said, what? He's in Miami. He said, the women are walking around in underwear. I said, what? And they're on skates. He said, I can't stay here. He said, I'm going back to my country. I said, adios, have a good trip. He turned around, got back on the plane and went back. Good, smart choice. Little young boy, he was coming here to go to college. He said, I can't go to school here. He said, I got off the plane and these women walk around in underwear and bras on skates. You know, he's from a Muslim country. He's not used to seeing that. That's a test for him. So he said, I'm going home. I'm going to tell my mother they can take this scholarship on somewhere. I'll go to school right here in Kuwait. He said, I'm not going to go to school in America. I go back to Kuwait. I'll go to, if I can't get into the University of Kuwait, forget it. I can't do this. So Allah will test us. Now, those of us live in America, we see women walking around in their underwear all the time. We're desensitized to it. A man here can look at these women and go walking around in Miami with no clothes on and be like, well, you know, that's every day. But this brother from Kuwait, this little young kid from Kuwait couldn't handle it. And I was proud of him. I told him, good job. Tell your mom that I said good job. Because he got right back on that plane. He got some scholarship from Kuwait to go to school here. He said, heck with that. Go right on back to Kuwait. Because they don't walk around in underwear. So Allah is going to test us according to where we are in our faith and practice. But he promised he'll never put a trial or a test on us that we can't handle. We just have to, first of all, trust in him. Believe in him, and then trust in yourself and believe in yourself. Like that young boy did. He's only 18. He believed in himself. Got back on that plane and went back to Kuwait. I'm so proud of him. What's up, Hamad? Give salams to your mom. His mom's one of my best friends. Okay. All right. So that's what we're speaking about in this class. How to implement Wala Wal Bara, allegiance and disassociation. What to distance ourselves from in our everyday lives. Like he distanced himself from the naked women here. He went back to Kuwait. When we're watching television, how to be to distance ourselves from that which is going to arouse emotions in us that we shouldn't have. So let's put the PowerPoint up on the screen. And by the way, I did put up the pages on YouTube and also my Facebook page. Let's see, but here it is. Let me show it to you guys. Can y'all see? And by the way, for the new, I got some new followers here. That's the book, Diluting Wala Wal Bara. This is the third of the trilogy, volume 3. This is the last of the trilogy. Get it on Amazon for $19.99, and also get the first of the trilogy called Get to Know Your Lord, because we're going to be done with this book probably by the end of this week. And I'm going to go back to volume 1, which speaks about breaks down the meaning, the first part of the meaning of that shahada. So get volume 1 too, guys. So you'll have it for next week. So today we're going to be covering pages 529 through 531. We're going to speak about how to promote our Islamic values through entertainment. You know, this is the election time of year here in America. And I'm going to warn all the Muslims again, none of you Muslims should be voting in any presidential elections. It's haram. It's haram. It's haram. Where's my dalil? The Prophet Sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, a non-believer can never, ever, ever be a ruler or a leader or a guardian over a Muslim. That's why even as a Muslim woman, when you convert to Islam, your father cannot be your guardian because he's not Muslim. And also Allah says in the Quran, in the interpretation of the meaning, the non-believers will never have your interests at heart. They will never have your best interests at heart. They will never allow you to have a voice. So we got some American brothers who call themselves, who are campaigning right now, trying to get people to go out and vote, talking about we need to have our voices heard. Well, you better go learn the deen, because Allah says they will never let you listen to what you got to say. They will never have your best interests at heart. They will come together just to destroy you. That's from the Quran. And looking at the people that's running, that what else? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, any nation that appoints a woman as its ruler, any nation that appoints a woman as its leader will never succeed. Women cannot be rulers. They cannot be governors. They cannot be presidents. Why do you think the companions, why is it Umar didn't appoint Aisha as a governor? You ain't going to read no hadith or learn in Islamic history about any female being appointed to a position of power or influence. We can't do that as women. But unfortunately, even though Allah speaks the truth, we got the innovators of America on the East Coast and the West Coast and the South advocating for y'all to get out and vote. You would think that you Muslims learned your lesson when y'all listened to these men and women and voted for Obama, who threw the bombs on Gaza and put y'all on those task force where y'all voted for LGBTQ. Oh yeah, the Muslims voted for that crap. They're on that task force. All right. So it's important for us. We can't participate in their government elections because their laws are for them, not for us. And as Allah says, they will never have our best interests at heart. But we should and we can live here in this country and try to promote our Islamic values. And we can promote them through entertainment. And that's what we're going to be speaking about today. How can we promote our Islamic values? Through the medium of entertainment. Forget about government, because this ain't our country. We can't govern, but we can promote our values this other ways. Well, let's take a look and see what Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd put here in this book. And he lets us know that this is a concise explanation of the significance of us promoting Islamic entertainment from a religious perspective. Okay? And he lets us know or reminds us. Do I have people watching? Because I can't work two mice. I'm going to have to use two.
I got it.
Okay, good. Because I got two mice and it's getting in my way. Okay. He lets us know the entertainment industry is a good vehicle to convey messages and to shape people's thought patterns and mindset. And we can use the entertainment industry as a means of getting out content about us and our way of life that can help the people to better understand us. I don't have to join the president's Democratic president's equal rights task force, like these brothers in Texas and these women in Texas are on. For y'all that don't know, they all on the task force. Okay? I don't have to join those task force because those task force are promoting lesbianism, homosexuality, gender issues where women take on the role of men and vice versa. We can't join none of that crap. We shouldn't be a part of any of that political crap. Okay? But I can contribute to society by promoting our Islamic values through the entertainment field. You know? And our values are based on the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Quran. So let's look to see what Kareem Abu Zaid gives us as examples of how to do this. Well, we start off with this verse of the Quran. Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, except for those who have believed and done good deeds, and who advise one another to truth and advise each other as to patience. Here we can see in this verse of the Quran, Allah is letting us know the importance of steering society to good behavior and mutual support. And that's needed in a place like America. Subhanallah. With all the LGBTQ, the legalization of marijuana, the legalization of abortion, the legalization of so many things that contradict, our ideology as Muslims and Allah's laws, it's a good thing for us to try to show the people another way, to show the people a better way than all of this. Because that's what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. He came into being a prophet during the 6th century. These were the dark ages of history, the most depressing time in man's history. The people had lost hope. Christianity had failed the people. Judaism had abandoned them. So he came and offered them something better than all of that. He taught them a better way by introducing to the people the laws of Allah, the rules of Allah. Listen to what Ibn Masud, may Allah be pleased, said. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever guides someone to something good will have a reward like the one who did it. Subhanallah. We're living in America. We're living in the United Kingdom. We're living in Australia. We're living in South Africa. We're living in all these Western lands, where morality has become twisted. In order for a woman to be recognized as anything, she has to prostitute herself, basically. She has to take off all her clothes and walk around naked in order to be heard, in order to be seen. So we have to call the people back to Allah's way, show them that it's not about that immodesty. It's not about any of that. And we can do this through the entertainment field. Subhanallah. How did Obama get in office? Obama is a brilliant man. He's very intelligent politically. He knew that the only way to win was to go after the minorities in America. So he went after the African Americans and played on the fact that he was from Africa. He went to the Mexicans. He went to all the Hispanics. And then he said, what's another group that doesn't vote? Of the Muslims, being the apostate that he is. He said, Muslims aren't supposed to participate, but I'm going to appeal to them by letting them know, even though I'm an apostate, I learned the Quran. I went to Quran school when I was a boy. I'll show them some pictures of me with a tabush on, So he appealed to the Muslims. And then he said, I'm going to take it further. I'm going to go to the LGBTQ and the feminist people too. So that's how he got in office. And he said, I'm going to go to the entertainment world. Oh, yeah. What did Obama do? He approached Jay-Z. He went to Kanye West. He went to Beyonce. He went to the entertainment industry and got them to support him. And he didn't stop there. He went and got Oprah Winfrey. He went and got Montel Williams too. All the black talk show. He got Kevin Hart. Oh, he knew what to do. He used the entertainment field to promote his ideology and to help him get elected to president, the same way that Kamala is doing. Kamala, the African-American Democratic Party that the Muslims are supporting, the same when they shouldn't be supporting any of them, because especially not the woman. The same thing she's doing. She's got her ex-boyfriends, Montel and the rap singer and the cowboy cheerleaders and all that. She's using the entertainment field. Oprah, the talk show. Oh, yeah. You can accomplish a lot through the entertainment industry. You know, so producing Islamic entertainment can become a great avenue, guys, for fulfilling, you know, our teachings of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and calling the people who are lost back to a better way. And remember, Allah tells us in the Quran and the interpretation of the meaning, you are a nation inviting to all that is good, and a nation that is enjoining that which is evil and forbidding what is wrong. So we're supposed to do this as Muslims. Show the people a better way. Okay? I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button. So Islamic entertainment can promote values like justice, compassion, integrity, modesty, especially today, modesty. Oh my God, we can go out and let the girls know. We can start with the elementary school kids. If you're a teacher, letting them know you don't have to take your clothes off to be seen. You don't have to walk around with just a pair of underwear on to be heard. You don't allow anyone to clip your wings. You want to be able to fly. Don't allow anyone to clip your wings. Okay? So we can reach out, you know, through the entertainment industry, includes social media. Okay? YouTube, making videos, making lectures, recordings. I ain't talking about songs. I'm talking about recorded lectures, videos, emphasizing what's good, emphasizing what's evil, and how we don't have to lower the stakes, you know, to be accepted. So again, the entertainment industry is a great way to do this, but we have to make sure that we don't do like these brothers have done in Texas and other places in America by selling our Islamic values. We want to make sure that we never compromise our Islamic integrity or our Islamic values. We don't compromise. We got to know when to hold and when to fold. That's why, like I said, we can't join no task force, because that task force has got too much stuff that contradicts Islam. You on there because you want the Muslims to be heard. Man, they ain't gonna hear you. Allah told you that. So you're sitting there walking with LGBTQ people, praying, doing pagan worships and stuff, you know, promoting feminism, promoting everything that contradicts Islam, because you thought that you could have a voice when Allah told you they ain't never given you one. But with the entertainment industry, you can control the content. You can control the content that you put out, just like this website. I control what I put out. Okay? So again, it's all about guarding our faith. You know, knowledge of technology comes from Allah, and Allah sends technology to us to make it better for us. It's a gift. But don't compromise your belief in him for it. Don't allow your personal jinn to cause you to become a fool and fall for your personal jinn to succumb to the fame and the money, because that's what's happening today. A lot of Muslims have all these social media platforms and entertainment platforms, but instead of them promoting Islamic ideas and Islamic truth, you know, they're blending, they're blurring the lines. So in order to protect your faith, and in order to have a successful entertainment platform, you have to first of all know your religion. And that's a problem too. Nowadays, we got Muslim women, Muslim men trying to become social influencers. They're streaming on YouTube. They got their own talk shows, their own podcasts, and all of that. Calling themselves promoting Islam, you know, talking about women in Islam, men in Islam. But these people are given the false information. They have no knowledge of what the role of women are, what the role of men are. I proved that to you guys in my class on marriage. Most of you women cannot tell me what the rights are that your husband have over you. Okay? How can you sit around and hold a podcast promoting Islamic values between husband and wife when you don't even know what those values are? So we have to first seek the proper knowledge through the Quran and through the hadiths, not fatwas, not opinions from others. And then we have to be people who practice the religion correctly too. You look at a lot of these social media entertainment influencers. I was looking on YouTube today at all these women. There's a lot of women here in America, African American women, that have a lot of podcasts. Look at how those sisters are dressed. Oh my God. They got on so much makeup. All they need to do is go out and hit the corner. Their hijabs do not cover their breasts. I am shocked. What's going on with the Muslim attire? By the way, for the new shahadas, make sure y'all check out Jamila Pasha. You know, she's on Facebook. Some of these clothes that you women are wearing, they're abayas with waistbands. Your breasts are sticking out. Here's a woman, a famous podcaster from the East Coast. Beautiful to look at. But oh my God, every time you see her big dairy. She got a butt like Nicki Minaj. She got breasts that stick way out to Florida and back. Oh my God, why is your kimar not covering it up? We putting on hats and stuff, looking like the Kafir women with the hats on and posing, making the pouty lips like, you know, like the Kafir do with our chest poked out. Oh my God, these women are going to bust hell wide open. Astaghfirullah. We cannot be public spectacles. But if you ask them why they doing it, they'll tell you, I'm doing it for the dawah. I'm a dawah diva. That's what they call themselves now. They're dawah divas. We're dawah divas. First of all, diva is not a good thing to be as a Muslim woman. I don't know any Muslim woman. Why would a Muslim woman want to be a diva? A diva is not a nice thing. A diva is nothing but the B word. Diva and the B word are synonymous. Why would you want to be a B word or a diva? Aisha wasn't no diva, and she wasn't the B either. She could be one if she wanted to do, but she wasn't. These dawah divas, oh my God, it's disgusting. And they say, we're giving dawah. We want the world to see that we Muslim women, you know, we got it going down and we this. And you don't know the basics. You don't even know how to dress. You're sitting here sharing a computer screen with a bunch of men. You got on more makeup than Nicki Minaj. You got them fake eyelashes going out from here to the Timbuktu and back. and your breasts, all you can see is your big boobs bouncing around, and Lord have mercy, you need to sit it down. Because that backside ain't. When I look at you sisters with those butts like that, I want to know how you clean them. I mean, seriously. I know a lot of you, let me talk about that, because I got some new shahadas here. The way y'all are dressing, showing your butts and your breasts, y'all think that's attractive? It's attractive for the Kafir women, because the Kafir women don't have our standards. Kim Kardashian, Cardi B and them, they don't live by our rules. But if you, righteous women are for righteous men, a righteous man will look at those butts that you sisters are showing. And you know what he gonna say? The same thing I say. I know darn well she ain't cleaning that behind. I know darn well she can't put her hand back there and scrape that crap out. Hello? So you sisters, I don't know, y'all need to stop imitating these Nicki Minaj women. Cover them big butts up, because a righteous man will look at it like, you know, she ain't clean. Ain't no way in heck she able to get it out. Tissue and all. Oh, yeah. And your breast sticking out like that. What's wrong with you, sisters? Oh, my God. So how can you promote Islam when you yourself ain't practicing it correctly? You're just on there for the show. And by the way, these women ain't even married. And it's always the single sisters. These women ain't even got husbands. All they doing it for is to get a man. You ain't doing it for the dower. You ain't sitting up hosting your podcast for the dower. You doing it because you want a man. And you're going to get one all right. And it ain't going to be a good one. Because righteous men will look and say, man, ain't no way in heck she clean. Nope. All right. So we have to understand, guys, it's important for us to use the entertainment industry and get our religion out there to call the people to the truth. But number one, you got to have knowledge of this religion and understanding of it. Understanding is you're going to practice it. It's going to show in the way you dress, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you interact. And also you have to surround yourself with like-minded individuals who are strong in their faith like you. You don't want to be like these dower diva women. I'm looking at about 10 of them standing together looking like, what the heck is this? Oh, they ain't attractive to me. I'm like, oh, you know, all of you look the same. You look just like Kim Kardashian with a rag on. That's all. Kim Kardashian and Nicki Minaj and Cardi B and Beyonce all standing together with a rag on their head. That's all you look like. You got to find people that are strong in faith. Because remember, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the greatest weapon that we have against shaitan is each other. You want to surround yourself with strong, practicing, like-minded people who will keep you firm, who will help you to not fall victim to fame and to looking for a man and all that crap. And you have to also participate in Islamic gatherings and hold discussions about whatever it is you're advocating on your platform. And also, it takes a lot of self-discipline. Don't succumb to the platform. Don't allow the fame to get to you like it's gotten to most of these people that y'all see on there. Okay? So now, I got a quiz for you. Question number 1. Oh, yeah, they call themselves the Dower Divas. Y'all ain't heard of them? That's the new name now. Remember, we went through that period here in America where everybody wanted to be a life coach? Well, now they done replaced life coach with diva, a Dower Diva. That's the word, the DD, the Dower Diva. Don't know that being a diva is an insult in and of itself. That ain't representing Islam. You might as well call yourself the Dower B. That's sad. All right. So here's your question. Here's your quiz. Look at this situation. Sarah, she wants to develop her own social media podcast, whereas she will discuss Islam from a woman's perspective in hopes of educating the non-Muslims about the role of women in Islam. That's the scenario. Here's the question. Do you think that this is something that's good and that's needed? Is this something that we need that will help to promote Islam in a good way? And tell me why or why not. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to hear your take on this. This is a question of fiqh. It's not a question of right or wrong. I want to hear your take on it. Anyone?
I would say it's kind of complicated to say it is needed. I'm leaning towards probably not, just because she's focusing on a woman's view, teaching non-Muslims when she should be focusing. Like, if you want to call non-Muslims to the dawah, you need to start with La ilaha illallah. You don't need to start with how to wear hijab, how, like, your roles as a woman. Because if they learn that, they're not going to understand La ilaha illallah. It's not what they need to start with.
Wow. What y'all think of her intake on that? I like that answer. What do y'all think about her answer? Anybody?
I agree. I mean, it's very straightforward. I mean, more people who are not balanced or don't understand the deen, they will focus and idolize that aspect of Islam and not really want to focus in on the main, areas that we should focus, like, the Aqidah, Tawheed. So it more so becomes, what can I do externally to feel good about myself, and let me adapt these external aspects of everything, instead of understanding that as Muslims, we need to focus on the main, the things that's going to get us into, into Jannah, the things that's going to get us closer to Allah. So she is right.
Okay, that's good. These are two good perspectives, and this is what you do when you go think about setting up an entertainment platform to promote Islam. I mean, that's the first thing you say. Is there a need for this? And, what am I doing? I want to give a perspective to educate the people about the role of women in Islam. Let them see that we're not inhibited, that we're not oppressed. So you have to take this into consideration. And these are the two examples of no, there is no need. Because if you want to call the people to Islam, Allah told us what to do. You begin with Tawheed. You got to call them to a belief in Allah first and foremost. The role of woman doesn't mean anything if you don't believe in Allah. So that's a good take. Let's see what we got here. Miss Jackson, she gave a different answer, a different perspective. She said she think it is needed because before Islam, she really did think Muslim women were oppressed. She really did think that women were forced to do things, but then she learned more and more and realized how blessed Muslim women were. Good job, Miss Jackson. Her thing is, yes, there is a need for it. Okay. Also, Miss Jackson said it's so many girls out there trying to be hot girls because they think that's filling and liberating, but it's not really such. So exactly, this is a question that can go either way. That's why I say it's no right or wrong answer. There's no right or wrong answer because the world is so contorted today. The world is so twisted because of the gender lines and all this other stuff. It could go either way, and which takes us to the next part of this question. Let's say, okay, let's go with what Miss Jackson said. We do need a platform. We do need some type of social platform that educates the people about the role of women in Islam. If we want to set up a platform like that, what Islamic principles are needed to pull this off? How do I go about pulling it off?
I would need to get some knowledge in the scope of this podcast, because so many people are talking off of emotion and their feelings, and they can be swayed away from the purpose and the intention and the focus of where they should be going. And, you know, we want to be balanced in the middle course. So having someone who knows the history, who knows what's going on, who knows the hadith, who knows the Quran, to pull that back in, you know, in conjunction with the other things to keep everything balanced, to keep people informed, and to keep people educated. So
good job.
That's
the number one thing. And that's what these dawah divas, these dawah divas, I was looking at them and these women don't know anything about Islam. I'm like, in fact, they don't even talk about Islam. They have their podcasts. They're talking about sex and love and stuff. They're not even talking about Islamic values. They're speaking about how to get over heartbreak, how to deal with narcissism. And they're not talking about it like the way I did from an Islamic perspective, where I told you that you got to be narcissistic to a certain extent. No, they're talking about, oh, how some man broke their heart. What is this? That's not, no, we don't need platforms like that. It has to be an Islamic platform. Whereas everything that you're speaking is based on Quran and Hadith. Like she said, no emotions, no personal views or any of that. You got to be qualified. Good job. And also, as Jamila said you got to be dressed properly too. You have to abide by the Islamic rules of women, you know. Now, to pull off something like this, should my audience consist of men, or should it consist of men and women, or just women? What do y'all think?
I would base it or focus on a female, you know, perspective, because first of all, it would entail that there is a lot of, you know, communication with the opposite sex, with them listening to what's going on or whatnot. Because sometimes these shows, they have call-ins.
Yeah.
Or what?
This should focus, if it's going to be a women's show, it should focus on women. These dawah divas don't do that. The dawah diva got more men following them. Of course, that's why they dress the part. It's all about the brothers, you know. It's all about trying to get married, because these women ain't even married, you know. But if a woman was sincere in wanting to educate about the role of women in Islam, she has to meet the criteria of, number one, being qualified to speak about the topic. She has to adhere to the Islamic rules of just, this is an audience geared towards women only. Women only. Women only. What? I don't need a man in there. You want to learn how to be a man? Go talk to Kareem Abu Zaid. Kareem Abu Zaid to tell you how to be a man. Okay? So your audience should consist of just women, not men. And it should be done, like the sister is saying here, under the guidelines of Islam. Okay, what else? Let's see. Female. And what else we got? Just women. Good job. Stay focused on Quran and Sunnah. But the men shouldn't be there, because this is a class for women to learn about the role of women. The men don't need to be a part of that. Take your butt on somewhere and learn how to be a man. Hello. Okay, let's look at the next question. Like I said, it's no right or wrong answer, but I just want to see your perspective on it. What about this? Abdullah and his wife want to launch a podcast into their daily lives, showing how Muslim families live. Is this something that we need? Why or why not? Is there a need for this in the entertainment field? Is there a need for this? Is this going to put out a good message for us?
No, it's not.
Why not?
You got the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we could draw all our examples from. What are they showing that's different? I mean, a part of us looking into their lives every day, they're showing us something. It's a form of spying, and it's a form of, putting yourself out there, your wife. You know, that's something that should remain sacred between you and your wife. So no, that's not needed.
Exactly. Plus, like you said, that's violating so many Islamic values and morals. Allah emphasizes that what goes on behind closed doors between a woman and her husband is their business. It ain't for the public. But this is what we see a lot of Muslims doing today. You know, a lot of these men and women trying to make money off of about opening up their personal private lives. And this, again, imitating the Kafirs. This is something that we shouldn't do. This type of entertainment, there's no need for. No need for that. What about this? A person wants to put together a puppet show. They want to make a movie or a video using puppets, you know, and about how to pray and why we pray and why we fast. What about that? This is a question somebody just sent me.
Can I answer again?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's perfectly fine. Why? It's no individual person that's being shown. This could even be shown to children who can be attracted to that, who can even learn from that, which they do. It seems childlike, but it's okay. I feel like it's okay. There's no harm in it, as long as they stay within the guidelines of Islam.
Exactly. This is the type of stuff that we do need to put out. We need to put out videos and things like that showing why we pray, why we fast, why we do the things we do, what we believe in, and all that. But there's no need for no tutorial on how to put a hijab on. There's no need for no tutorial on how to put on lipstick. There's no need for a podcast of women and men sitting down together talking about how they got their hearts broke. You know, none of that crap. It's got to be something that relates to Islam. You know, because again, it's all about calling the people in this twisted world back to something better than that, which is Islam. All right. Any questions or comments? Are there any questions or comments?
I want to say that a lot of these people who are on the internet now, they're not qualified to be on the internet. It's just so much trash. I don't want to talk about people, but it is trash. It's like brain rot. It's not beneficial. It doesn't, like, when you leave it, you don't feel like, okay, I learned something. It can be beneficial towards my life. I can improve my character. It doesn't bring anything but more. Sometimes it even makes a person even doubt more. So you have to be careful of those people who are not qualified to, open them up into your home, because they might bring in more doubt in your heart.
Exactly. We have to be careful, guys. That's what the thing I'm trying to get these young Muslims, the ones that's in their 20s. And I say young, I'm talking about those of you in your 20s and 30s. You know, y'all are following these people on YouTube, and these people are ridiculous. You know, Dawah Diva should tell you right there something wrong. Why would you turn on that? Okay. The arguing and debating that a lot of these brothers are doing, they're arguing with non-Muslims. What's the point in arguing about that? What Allah speaks about that. We don't do that. You know, calling each other kafir. I mean, what's the point in that? You know, that's not getting no agenda out. Tutorials on how to put on makeup and hijabs. What's the point in that? Talk shows on relationships between women and men. That ain't nobody's business. That's not advocating anything of value in Islam. Remember, if you want to call the people to Islam, what did the Prophet tell us the sequence is? Call them to Tawheed first. Tawheed first. And that's a lifetime endeavor, to call people to believe in Allah and worship Him alone. That's a lifetime endeavor. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop right here. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Also, guys, we have the How to Pray class. That's why I'm looking at the text messages from some of the other platforms. Yes, that's at 9:30. I'm going to go over purification. I'm going to give you a quiz because remember the last time we met for that class, I talked about how the purification that we make before we pray. I'm going to give you a quiz on, your clothing, the area, and all of that we discussed. And then we're going to go into details about the wudu and stuff like that. So that's tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. All right. So I'm going to log out. I'll be back at 9:30, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.